Good evening and welcome to 2014. This is the Business Forum. We have a brand new program this year, and I need to announce to you that the School of the Month is Niceville High School. And congratulations, Principal Rodney Nobles and all the members of Niceville High School for that wonderful honor. First up on our segment this evening, is our very own Terry Fedonzak from Valparaiso Realty, and she has a really interesting story to share with you. So welcome, Terry. How are you today?
Thank you, Dave. I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, fantastic. So let's pay the bills up front. Tell us a little bit about how you got here, and that's Valparaiso Realty. How long has that business been serving this wonderful community?
That business has been in town since 1921. And it was started by my great-grandfather. Just one great.
Just one great.
Just one great. And I have been working there for, about 16 years. Mm-hmm. And it's a family business. It's a commercial real estate business.
But you've had an opportunity to explore some new and interesting territory, haven't you?
Indeed, I have.
And tell us a little bit about that. You've made the shift from the corporate world to becoming an author. You're published.
I am. I'm a published author.
How did all that happen?
Yeah, I got cancer in 2010, and it just brought a huge shift into my life. And I realized that although the people at my real estate company were wonderful, I absolutely loved working there, the commercial real estate part of it was not for me. It really wasn't my dream. So when you have a big shift in your life like that, like a cancer that comes in, it sort of, it causes you to reevaluate your priorities.
You get a chance to do a do-over, don't you?
You really do. So I say cancer is the best thing that ever happened to me.
Really?
Absolutely, because it caused me to really focus on what was important, and I've always wanted to write a book, and now I have. So Field Guide, which is why I'm dressed like this, Field Guide to Plugged In Parenting, and that's the book that I wrote. And the tagline is, even if you were raised by wolves, which people say, oh my God, how can you say that about your parents? And I said, they're wonderful people. They just weren't the best parents.
I always say they played the best cards that they had.
They played the best cards that they had. They were absolutely, my mother was a wonderful person.
That doesn't mean that they weren't wolves.
Yes,
exactly. So that's another story.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about what is Girl Power for Good, and how is there an African theme in there?
Right. Well, Girl Power for Good came to me. I was in South Africa on safari last June, and I watched the lionesses as they sort of provided for the pride and played together and supported each other. And it was like this lightning bolt of realization for me at how, if human relationships, if women could do the same thing that the lionesses did, how different girl world could be. Because I have 4 girls, and it's tough. It's really tough in high school for girls. And I go into high schools and talk to girls about their own girl power. And so I liken it to lioness power, because that's cool, and teens think that's cool. And so it comes off really well, and it sort of instills in them that they're here for a bigger purpose.
Is that where the power of the pride came from?
That's where the power of the pride came from. So pride, big P for your support group, and little p for your own inner pride. Sure. And so that's what I speak to the girls about. And then the Africa theme, I brought that in because the idea came to me in Africa, and that way they laugh at my costume and not at my message. So that's important.
Absolutely. And it's not unusual in the animal world for the lionesses, as we were speaking of, to pretty much run the social structure.
They do. They absolutely do.
They allow a male in or don't allow males in.
Right.
And the males get evicted at some point in time.
Yes.
Don't
they have their purpose and then they leave.
And then there you go. Tell me, what are some of the common issues with working with parents?
The thing that I see most of all is sort of a focus on competition as opposed to connection. And my whole point is to focus on connection. So parents are looking at other parents and what they're doing and what their kids are doing, and they're comparing themselves, and that's not necessarily a good thing. No. Because every family is different. And in the book I talk about sort of defining your own family values and then parenting according to those family values. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Worrying about connecting to your family, teaching your kids to connect to their pride of support, and then your life will be your life. It doesn't matter what everyone else is doing.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And one of the most interesting concepts I saw there was being a plugged-in parent, because
Yes.
there's so much neglect, or I don't know how to say it kindly, but talk a little bit about that. What is it to be a plugged-in parent?
Well, I see that parenting is not a spectator sport.
No.
So and it's not easy. It is really sort of a 24/7 job. And for working parents, it's even more difficult, because your time with your kids is limited.
Precious, sure.
Precious, and very, very precious. And it's hard to discipline when you have limited time. But discipline is so important. So being plugged in is knowing that you have long-term goals for your kid, and you plug into those long-term goals, and then you also plug into a daily steps to get you to those long-term goals.
And you speak very, very carefully about the balance between home and work, and how
Yes.
difficult that is.
Yes. Yes.
Give us some ideas on that.
Well, I think that in order to parent well, it's difficult to think about having half your mind at work and half your mind at home. But that's what working parent is.
Yeah.
So instead of trying to fight for it to be different, accept the way it is, and eke every single minute of the time that you have with your kids, make it count.
Yeah, be there.
Be there
Be
for them.
there.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think that's very, very important.
Yeah.
Good, very good concept. What is self-care, and why is that so important to parents?
Well, it's the old story of when you get on an airplane and the flight attendant tells you to put your own oxygen mask on first before aiding others. And as a parent, you think, I can't possibly do that. I have to help my kids first. But you can't if you're lying on the floor for lack of oxygen. So self-care is taking care of yourself first, and that may be exercise, nutrition, unplugging, literally unplugging. Spend 5 minutes a day just listening to your breath, just walking outside.
Meditation,
yes,
sure.
yeah.
And to be the best dad I can be, I really need to be the best Dave I can be. Don't
Absolutely,
I?
yes.
I have to completely agree with you on that. And you touched on a little bit, but tell us again the difference between connection and competition.
Okay, so connection is is putting an emphasis on human relationships, whether it be mother-child or mother and friend, mother-father, putting that emphasis on being there for someone else. When you're talking to them, be there and talk to them. Don't think about your to-do list. And Facebook is great. It's a great tool to connect on one level, but face-to-face time is really important.
Sure.
And in order to have a pride to support you, you're going to have to connect in real time with other people. And so you don't worry about what shoes you're wearing and how big your house is. You worry about what friends you have.
And I think the biggest thing that affects our relationships, especially with our children, is stress.
Yes.
And like you said, time management, trying to keep a balance there. In closing, give us a couple really good tips to help with stress and time management.
I have a to-do list on my website called the Girl Power Transformer. And basically it pulls a couple of things that you can actually get done, because you can only get done 3 to 5 things over and above your normal list. And then everything else, you pull your 3 to 5 things on your list for today that you will absolutely get done if the wheels fall off. Everything else goes on the other side, which I call it the universe's side. Yeah. Let them take care of it. And it frees your mind up to act in a more creative way. And you're not then operating out of that fight or flight stress mode. You're actually operating in a creative, calm, collected mode.
Especially if you're taking care of yourself.
Exactly, exactly.
Terry, it's wonderful to meet a published author, and
thank you.
You and your family have done so much for our community, and I really do wish you great success with this.
Thank you so much, Dave. I appreciate you having us.
Thanks for being here.
Okay.
You're not going to want to miss the next segment. We're going to tell you about the millions and millions of dollars that are headed our way from the Restore Act. We're going to meet a couple gentlemen that are working to make sure we use them wisely. So don't go away.